Hi, friends and family. Welcome to Improv on and off the show. My name is Shannon Stott, and if you don't know, my company is Improv on and off the stage, where I teach improv, yes, but really what I'm concerned about is how improv shows up in our lives, how it can show us what to do with ourselves, with our centeredness, with showing up how we want to show up. Improv can help us with all sorts of things. And in order to show you that, I've developed this show, Improv on and off the show, where it's we being the team of people that is backstage and behind the scenes right now are going to come up and we are going to do some improv for you. Yes, but we are going to also discuss why that improv is important. We have specialists, we have behavioral analysts, we have drama therapists, we have yogis, we have other improvisers, all here just so that we can have this rich discussion about improv and what it does in our lives. So I can talk all about this. I can talk and talk and talk. I can talk till I'm blue in the face. But here's the thing. I just said I had a team, and part one of that team is coming up now. Aaron Signs, my co-host and other improviser, whenever he's ready.
Woo! Hey, everyone. Hey, Shannon.
It's Hi. Aaron. Hi, Aaron.
It's so good to see you. It's really wonderful to hear you describe this show. I always love it when you tell people what we're going to do, and then we do it, and it's very nice. I enjoy that.
It's really nice.
Do you know that formula, saying what you're going to do and then do it, is how some people define building trust?
Gosh, Aaron, it's almost like you knew exactly what I was thinking.
What the theme was for the week? It's almost
I was wondering what is the theme for the week? And the theme for the week is trust, given to us by the people who watch this show. So if you are interested in seeing a theme based on what you want it to be based on, you can put it in the chat. But yes, we're talking about trust. Aaron, how does trust show up in your life these days?
Oh, well, I wear masks and I go around all the time and I see people and I have to trust or not trust their conditions. I also have 2 small children and I have to learn when to trust them and when not to. How about you, Shannon? What's the trust like in your life? Where are you at?
Wait. No, you said something very big. You said you have to learn when to trust them and when not to. I think that's a big thing that you dropped as far as children go. What do you mean when you say that?
Well, first, I mean, I think when you're a kid and you have a kid and they have a little baby and you're like, please don't die for years. It's all it is. It's just please don't die, please don't die, please don't die. Mm-hmm. And then eventually they can start doing things on their own. And you have to be like, I trust you not to die. Now go enjoy that grape. Oh, wait. Turns out you don't know how to swallow grapes. I can't trust you around grapes. Then you have to pull them back from that trust. So it's just a long, roller coaster of trust and not trust with children. Their capabilities, their intentions. It's always great when your child lies to you for the first time.
Their lives.
Lies. No, when they break the trust you put into them.
These are boundaries that they're testing, right? They have to test boundaries. They have to figure out, are you to be trusted, right? Kids are people, right?
I'm just saying I'm not to be trusted in case there's any children watching this or anyone.
Lord. Okay. So how does trust show up in my life?
Yes, please.
That you're asking. These days, what a great question, actually. It's as if we have a show about trust. These days, it's a little bit about trusting myself. So I went on a trip. I was out of town for 2 whole months. And I had a little bit of this is who I am. A remembrance to myself, And then when I got back, a friend of mine put it as, what did he say? It's like being in a fog. It's like I was so clear as to who I was. And then when I came back, it feels like I'm fogging. It's foggy around here. I'm trying to figure out who I am again. And there's a trust that I have to have in myself that I found it once and I'll find it again and it'll come up instinctively or naturally. So that's a big thing. That's some trust in myself that I'm going through.
So we have like a trust that's boundary based, and then we have a trust that's more like a faith or like a belief in yourself. Sort of, those are two
Ooh.
aspects of trust. You know what? I bet there's a lot more aspects of trust, and I know someone that if we called them up here would help us with that.
No, who do you know? Who?
Oh well, I know. Oh, who is this? It's
Who's
Emily.
gonna be?
Emily. Hi,
It's
Emily.
Emily Arnold. Hi, Emily.
Hi, Shannon. Hi, Aaron. It's so good to see your faces.
Likewise.
It's so good to see your face. You're the greatest. Listen, Emily, Aaron has this idea that you know something about trust. Can you tell us before you get into trust? Like, give us the credentials. You are a behavioral analyst. What does that mean?
Yes. So I'm a board certified and licensed in the state of Virginia behavior analyst. That means the simplest definition I can make is that I help change environments around people to help change and shape their behaviors and make life better for everyone involved. My main gig as a behavior consultant with direct service providers. So I help teach people how to work with people, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's a big deal because as far as trust goes, you're teaching people how to trust other people.
Yeah, and I'm teaching trust in a whole bunch of different ways, right?
Mhm.
Because people need to trust me when I come in because I'm essentially working on telling people how to do their job. So they need to trust that I know what I'm talking about, but that I also value their input and what's important to them. But I also teach the caregivers that I'm working with to gain the trust of the clients they're working with. Just like y'all said before, doing what they say that they're going to do, actually giving, following through on those rewards that they said that they would give, or, if a parent says they're going to get ice cream on Friday, you actually go get ice cream on Friday, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I feel like it's important to know how difficult that must be. I feel like it's a difficult thing it's one thing to say, trust me, or be trustworthy, right? And another thing to be the conduit of a person who is trustworthy enough to teach somebody else how to be trustworthy.
Yeah, it's a process. It's the whole thing.
It is a whole thing. But you have more to talk about. You have more things to say about it.
I do. I have so many things. Part of my job is defining behavior. So let's get into it. Let's define some trust.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna head out then.
Okay. Yeah. I'll talk to these fine people. See you in a bit. So everyone who wants to learn about trust, I do. So we're going to talk a little bit about what that means. If you Google trust, you get all sorts of like these little quotes that are like, trust is earned, or like, you have to work for trust, or like when someone breaks your trust, it's gone forever. And it's like these big dramatic quotes. But I think trust kind of happens in little ways all over the place. And it's pretty simple, I think. Trust is kind of an internal a thought. We would call that in the behavior world, we call that a private event. A thought with someone's and confidence in somebody's ability or their strength or their reliability, right? Just like Aaron was saying, like he has confidence in whether or not his kids can eat a grape, whether or not they have that ability, or whether or not they're just going to survive. And then Shannon having confidence in her own abilities, right? And confidence is contextual, just like the grape thing, right? We might have a significant other that we trust to love us and care for us and be kind for us, but we wouldn't trust that significant other unless they are like a licensed surgeon to perform surgery on us, right? Because our trust is contextual about their specific abilities. Now, what's really neat is Aaron and Shane have already touched on this, that there are two kinds of trust that we want to look at. And one is trusting others. And I like to think about three different ways that this happens. Just like we talked about, you can't just walk in and say like, hey, I'm trustworthy. You have to have multiple exposures and multiple opportunities in order to gain that confidence in another person or another event, right? And sometimes that trust might be a little bit more implicit and a little bit easier to earn, or a little bit harder to earn based on your past history with that. And then the third part is sometimes you got to have a willingness to trust. You have to be able to put yourself out there a little bit and have a little bit of confidence in someone's ability, right? Well, let me give you some examples. So, for instance, if you were a teenager and all your friends started like gossiping about your secrets behind your back, that would kind of break your trust, right? And so that's an example of how in the future, when you meet new friends who are maybe similar, they're not the same people, but similar context, it might be a little harder to earn their trust. You might need more multiple exposures of those new friends actually doing nice things for you and keeping your secrets before you gain their trust. On the flip side, if you go to a new job and the first presentation you give, you get a standing ovation and everyone says, that's amazing, and you learn right away that your job culture is super supportive, then you're more likely to trust them again pretty quickly, right? You build that trust a little bit quicker with similar kind of work environments. And then the second kind of trust is trusting yourself, just like Shannon was talking about. And here I put willingness at the top because we are in charge of our own behaviors, right? We have to step out and actually do a thing. But the first time we do it, we might not trust ourselves to do something because the first time we do anything, it's a little scary and we might not know our abilities yet. And then there's a little bit of reinforcement in the environment. There are different kinds of ways that can happen, and I'll show you right now. The first one would be like, say I just picked up an instrument and I just stared at an instrument and I'm like, I've never touched this instrument before. I wouldn't have a whole lot of trust in myself playing that, right? But if you have a lot of practice and you practice the upright bass and you become really good at it, you get this reinforcement of the beautiful music coming out. You know that you're doing the right thing and you gain that trust in yourself that you can play that really well. Similarly, that reinforcement can come from other people, right? If you're an artist and you paint and then you have all your fans who are telling you how wonderful you are, that might help you gain some trust in yourself and your abilities. So we're going to soon talk about improvisers and what that means, how we show up trust in improvisation. And trust works both ways with the trust with ourselves and the trust of our partners, because we are making things up on the stage. You're going to see Erin and Shannon in just a second make things up as they go, and they are going to be trusting themselves to know where things are going and trusting each other. So let's go ahead and let's kick it to Erin and Shannon. And let's see a beautiful improv scene.
Okay, hear me out on this. What if we put Frank with your cousins because they all like sports, and so they'll have something to talk about at the table? Darla, come on.
Yes. No,
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
this is the thing that you've said. This thing that you said with Frank and the cousins, it feels like you have finally listened to what it is that I want out of this wedding.
Okay,
I just want people. What?
No. What do you want? Tell me again.
No, I don't need you. Why would I tell you if you got it?
You want our families and our friends to know and love each other the way we know and love each other. Yes. Well, I'm sure that as they argue about whether or not the Seahawks are better than the Supersonics or whatever bullshit stuff they have to talk about in the sports world will be great. And that way we can solve the Frank issue.
Okay, no, this is out of left field. It's going to feel out of left field. But what if I stopped being? What if I listened more to you?
And we don't invite Frank? Because
no, just in general. I mean, the thing is that I have this hang up, right? Where I don't believe that anything you say is going to work. And then I know you hate it. And I take the reins so hard. And then it ends up every time. It ends up beautiful. But I never think it's going to go that way. I always feel like you need some sort of guidance and you don't.
I would not be involved in this relationship if I did not think that your guidance was important and valuable and helped me grow. That being said, yes, please listen to me. I'm always right. You should just follow what I'm saying. Clearly.
You know, I hate the vulnerability is coming out. It's coming out. Can you feel it? I hate it. It makes me feel tiny. It makes me feel like this. I just want you to know that I actually love you. Sick.
I thank you. You know, you get to say it in front of everyone you know, including people from work at table 11.
Table 11. You know, if we put table 11 in the way back, maybe I'll get a raise. Maybe flip side, maybe I'll just get fired from that job. That would be really nice. You know what I mean? That way I don't have to quit. I don't have to quit. These people don't have to be part of my life. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think it's not that big a deal. I don't even like that job.
I think you're the first bride who has gotten cold feet just about everything in her life. Just your job.
Whoa. What?
Yes, this is true. This is true, Darla. Ever since we started planning this wedding, it seems like everything is just on the cusp of needing to be run away from. I'm getting the message that you're a little nervous about hitching your wagon to my broken down mule cart. And I understand that. You got that going on. I got this going on.
I don't have cold feet. Remember when I decided I was gonna buy that RAV4 and it was on sale like in an alley? I bought it. I bought an alley RAV4. Remember that? I didn't have cold feet then. I bought a RAV4 in an alley.
I would like to be the RAV4 in the alley of your heart, Darla. So if you could just practice saying I love you.
Yay! That was beautiful. That was a beautiful scene. So we're going to talk about it a little bit and all the wonderful things that we saw there. With Shannon and Aaron, they went out there and they threw plenty of details in there, and they had that moment where they spoke together. And what's really cool about improvisation this far apart is that we're having all this improv. Hi, I'm talking about you. Is that you're doing this beautiful, touching scene when you're not even like in the same room and you're trusting each other to feel that emotion from between screens, which was beautiful.
Yeah, it's such an interesting feeling to have to watch somebody's path and hitch your wagon to that path, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a part of you or a part of me that wants to go in one direction or feels a scene going in one direction and really does want to hold on to that direction. And then there is a vulnerability of, I can't just do this by myself. I have to follow my partner.
Yeah. There's a lot of so in the confidence chart where it was like strength and ability and reliability, when I'm on stage with Shannon, those are like all at peak capacity. But there's one that maybe is in there somewhere, which is like communication. And it doesn't matter, even if it's Shannon, who I seem to have strange telepathic bonds with. It's the hardest part for me in an improv show to trust that we are both saying what we think we're saying to each other.
Yeah.
And that to me is just like a baseline. Like, it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm always trying to do that better.
Yeah. I would have to agree, because there is especially with you, Aaron, there is a knowledge that whatever we do, the scene will go well. Like, I know this scene will go well, but I think maybe it's because we've been performing for a very long time. I have a genuine want for the scene to go extra well. I want to make sure it goes well. So there's like, I'm not giving up power. I don't know. Emily, talk about like vulnerability and that.
Yeah, I actually have a question that kind of links to some of the stuff I was talking about, some of the stuff we talked about, and what you just said is that some of this trust that two of you have built is because of all of your time spent together. But I was also, noting in my explanation of trust that we need those kind of like reinforcing and ensuring like variables in that history that that you can trust that person. So I'm curious if you want to talk about, I know you were asking me a question, but I'm going to ask you a question as the improvisers, what you are looking for to signal to you that you can trust that other player that you're playing with.
Ooh, that's a great question.
Wow. Yeah. What am I looking for? So I think what do they call it? Synchronicity. So like, when you and another person or you and another event happen at the time that's like optimal for both of those, right? So sometimes you're in a scene with someone and your instinct to follow through on an idea is completely coincidental with your scene partners coming through with their idea, and they match. And it kind of shows that you're in the same world, you're kind of building the same space, and that you're on the same pace of the scene too.
Yeah, you said the word pace, and I think that the question you asked, what am I looking for? There is an internal pacing. Aaron tends to leave space for me, so he'll drop an offer, and then there's a beat. And if I'm not picking up on that offer yet, he'll keep going a little bit, and then there's a beat. And I feel like that translates to off the stage as well, right? We're starting to look for, is this person going to allow me to be me as they are being themselves?
Yes.
So that really brings up a great idea to me, which is that I feel like I could get better at that. Not the pace thing, Shannon, but at allowing myself to be myself and allowing you to be yourself, which takes more trust. And I'm wondering if we can temporarily say goodbye to Emily and bring on another wonderful specialist who might help us develop those skills or something close to them.
Yes,
right?
I love it. So we have a drama therapist with us, Luke Wallens.
Hello.
Luke, it's so great. One of the things that's excellent about just this platform for me is I can see you sometimes nodding. You're just like, yes. And it's like, good, we're on the right track. The drama therapist knows that we're trying our best.
No, I was listening to it. I was like, oh, great. My exercises will fit into this. This is great. So it's working. So,
Perfect.
So I'm very excited.
Emily talked just a little bit about what she does. Tell us a little bit about what you do as far as being a drama therapist.
Right. So as a drama therapist, it's one of the many art forms of active therapy. So rather than sitting down and talking, you're using drama in different scenes and different in a theatrical platform to explore themes for yourself as well as group work as two. And it can range from something like sociodrama, where it's like you're all creating a scene together to work through a group issue, or something very personal like psychodrama, where one person is working through their own recurring thoughts, patterns, trauma, and involving everybody else to help recreate those situations, but also find different ways to through those situations as well.
Okay.
So,
and so we get to experience some of that today.
Yeah.
This evening now. How about that?
Yeah. So I have two exercises. One involves building trust with others and then the other one is building trust with the self. So
like, as if we were just talking about this thing. So great.
Surprise, yeah. So the one that I want to do with building trust with others is using a technique called doubling. And so it's a technique that's kind of happening when when you're in a group drama therapy situation, one person has trouble expressing their emotions, and so they ask for a double, somebody else who's observing the scene, to come in and to speak as like the inner thoughts of that person. And so yeah. So what I want to try is just a slightly different version than that, but in that same vein. So I want to go back to the characters that you just were playing, if that's okay. And so and I want to see if you guys can come up with like a word or a phrase that kind of like epitomizes your character, like or was there a word or a phrase that came up in your minds as you were playing that character? It could be something like, I like potato chips, or it could be something, like trust, like.
Should we say them out loud?
Yes. Yeah. Whenever you're ready.
I think my character's was stay on target.
Stay on target.
Stay on target.
Okay. And I think mine would be I can do this by myself.
Ooh, okay, cool. Awesome. By myself. I gotta write it down. So we have those two phrases. Wonderful. Cool. What we're gonna do is we're gonna I'm combining two improv exercises that you probably know. So we're combining inner thoughts and dolphin training. So basically what's going to happen is one person is going to be saying their phrase as just saying their phrase. So for example, So for example, Shannon, you're going to be saying, I can do this by myself. I can do this by myself. Aaron is going to be saying the inner thoughts of Shannon's character. And when you feel when you feel like he's going in the right direction, you'll repeat your phrase.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so
Yeah.
So
I got it. Yeah. I get it. I'm getting it.
Okay. So right. Let's take a big breath in and out. Yeah. And let's start with the phrase. I can do this by myself.
I can do this by myself.
He's going to want to put all the wrong people at the wrong tables.
I can do this by myself.
I really love him, but does he understand who my family is? Does he understand the trouble that I might have to take care of if he doesn't get it right?
I can do this by myself.
There's so much trouble I will have to take care of if he doesn't do this right.
I can do this by myself.
Cool.
God, I just want this to go well. Can this please go well? I want this to be done.
I can do this by myself.
When are we gonna get to the good stuff? Oh, is that a scene called?
Sorry.
Nice.
I gotta do it bigger. Yeah. So cool. So sweet. All right. So let's switch, and then we'll reflect on that, and then we'll go into the other exercise.
Okay.
So Aaron's phrase is "stay on target." Okay.
Stay on target.
Yeah. So let's just breathe in one more time, and out. And then whenever you're ready, Aaron, you can say your phrase.
Stay on target.
There's one thing that I have to do, and all I have to do is take care of that one thing.
Stay on target.
I love this person, but
Stay on target.
I want for them what is best for them.
Stay on target.
I will do anything, including sacrificing myself for this person.
Stay on target.
In fact, I don't even know if I really want to get married. I just want to please my partner.
Stay on target.
I want, like, the marriage isn't the thing. Like I'll do whatever it takes. It's just I want them to be happy, and I will even consider making myself smaller for them.
Stay on target.
I never speak up for myself.
Stay on target.
I-
Unless it was like that character learned something about it himself from that inner monologue.
That's what it felt like. That's what it felt like on the side. Like, oh, who is this person? This person, this is the type of person that thinks this way.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, with both of those, trying out, both times, we're gaining a better understanding, a better trust of how the other person plays the character, how the other person thinks, and what the other character is, so you can develop more of a scene with that. So
yeah. That's a huge. It feels like, one, the trust that it takes in somebody else to reflect you is a big deal. That's it. That's interesting. I liked that.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. Mm-hmm.
So, not to reveal too much personal information, I've done this exercise before in a therapy session. Oh. It's really cool to do it with a real person to a real person, and to feel, not the dolphin training part, but the mantra and the discussion stuff and the speaking for somebody else. It's really enlightening to do that as a character, because you know who, you have to kind of both decide and then know who that character is as it's happening. It's very enriching. I really enjoyed that. That was good.
Me too.
Good.
Thank you, Luke.
Yeah.
You've got one more for us, I think.
I've got one more. more. So that was So that was playing a character, and kind of getting into character learning, building trust with others, but building trust with yourself is a little bit different. Obviously, because you are and so it's kind of like, I thought about it today. It's like, it's like you establish like the boundaries and self-love for yourself, but you're following through, and that's kind of how building trust can work sometimes. And so I want to, still bring it into an imaginative realm. But you're playing yourselves. So, for example, like let's imagine that you are a person that is leaving a job, leaving the office. Like you've already spoken to the boss, you've already spoken to HR, whatever, and like you are packing up to go. And so I want to have you both kind of like narrate just like a couple of things that you would be taking from the office as you walk out the door. So it can be something as realistic as like, I'm taking this stapler. This is it. Because, and also state a reason. It's like, because this is my favorite stapler. I love stapling paper. Or it could be something like fantastical. Like, I'm taking this heart, this vein of a heart, because I feel like keeping on beat, keeping on the pulse is where I want to go with next in my journey. So, okay. Let's have I know we're a little short on time, so I want to make sure that let's do two things for each one of you, and it's just going to be kind of like a self-narrating journey for each of you. And would anybody want to go first?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
It's Aaron.
Yeah. Okay. It's Aaron. Okay. Cool. And if you want to physicalize it too, great. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let's back this up. Okay. Oh, I should have learned that guy's name. Didn't know that guy's name. Okay. Before I leave, I got to get binder clips. Binder clips work on everything in your house. These little metal things are supposed to be just for paper, but they fit bags. They're like the most useful. I think I would still have this job if I was more of a binder clip. I'm going to do it. I realize now I can't leave without a rec. I have to have someone give me a rec Otherwise, I'm never going to move on to like the second or third job after this. Who am I going to ask? I'm going to get a rec from the CEO. Why not? Let's go it. What's the worst he can do? Make me leave? I'm going to go ask him. I'm going to ask the CEO for a recommendation. Jesus. That's it.
Cool. All right. Thanks, Aaron.
Okay.
Yeah.
And see you later. Yes, but I will see you later. And because I'm not leaving on terrible terms. But before I go, I am taking this painting of a flower, one single flower in a desert coming out of a crack, because it reminds me that I am alone and I can thrive with no one. I'm taking that. And I'm also taking each and every one of your laughter. Yes, I am taking your laughter. Ha 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 ha. Because this place used to be filled with laughter when I was here. And now that I'm gone, no one will ever laugh again. Goodbye.
Scene. Oh,
Do
wow.
Aren't
Yeah.
Aren't they supposed to be fictional?
What? You shush. You shush. You don't know my life. You do. You do know my life.
But yeah, y'all did awesome with that. That was great. You found ways to finding like with binder clips and different recs and stuff like that. There's a lot of ways to to still maintain connection and still maintain touch with everybody, keeping in touch with everybody. And then with having like the painting, and then also taking everybody's laughter. It's like I'm going to grow from this, and I'm also going to laugh my way through this as well. So yeah, so it's kind of cool. What did you guys think of it?
Yeah.
A little close to home, considering everyone is leaving or getting a new job these days. I'm not, but it's turnover job market city out there.
Yeah.
So, I've actually known many people who have left their jobs in the last 6 months. So yeah.
And I feel like on that note, it's an interesting feeling to connect. It's to connect a feeling with an object, and to really realize it's funny to have stuff come up that you don't know that's the thing that is coming up for you. So yeah, that as far as trust goes, it's a not freeing, but it feels like being in the wind, because you trust yourself to see the thing, but I didn't know what was going to come up because of that thing. So that was an interesting discovery. Yeah.
Speaking of interesting discoveries, segue time. We are going to bid a fond goodbye, briefly goodbye to Luke.
Okay.
Yes. Bye. And bring up our special guest for the day.
Yes, Syntyché is coming up. Yes, hi, Syntyché.
Hi, friends.
Syntyché, you are a yogi.
Yes.
But not just a yogi. You focus on trauma.
Yeah, 100%.
Can you talk about a little bit about that, how yoga and trust and trauma flow together?
Thank you for asking. I'm just so happy to be here. Trauma, trust, and yoga is at an interesting intersection, right? And I think when I get out of my cognitive brain and I drop into my feeling body, right? Cognitive brain and feeling body, it feels like an invitation to listen to our intuition. And everything that happened before this segment was just such good medicine. I was cracking up at all of it and screaming yes, right? Exactly like that. It was very ugly. And also Just honoring the intellect that is us as humans and this feeling body, and honoring that intersection and that they're not in competition. And honoring as a yogi and as someone who focuses on trauma, that when we feel something familiar, or something that we want to invite, right? Like love and joy, right? All those things that make us want to put on fuzzy socks and like do all those other things. And then these other experiences that challenge us, that it is a beautiful blending of awareness. And that intersection is medicine. And trauma is medicine. I know that's like, but it really is. And that's my work, is to create space to help folks lean into that unfamiliar, that the womb space, knowing and trusting that there's medicine there and that we will come on the other side of it special, renewed, refreshed, glorious, fucked up, all of it. It's juicy. It's sexy.
Yeah, there's a space in there. Obviously, you're here on an improv show talking about this intersection, and there's a space where there is the fear going into a scene and this trust of having to trust your other partner. And there's what you're talking about is so interesting to me, because you said trauma is healing, right? There's a fear, but we have to walk through that fear to get to the other side. And I feel like we're speaking the same language in that.
100%, right? And it's I find with watching you folks with improv, it's trusting the guidance, right? Like, you know, like the universe is not an asshole, right? And neither is your partner in the improv sense, right? And so if I assume that the universe isn't an asshole, and I assume that my partner isn't an asshole, then wherever they take me isn't assholery.
I hear you.
That's some deep shit, right?
Yeah. Oh, I see what you did there. There you go. There you go.
100%. 100%.
So,
Take that.
Syntyché, we could talk about this all day, but Erin and I are going to give you some space just to take us through a flow and talk us through what it looks like to trust yourself, to flow through trauma, and to bridge those two things. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. So, if nothing else is remembered from our time together, my petition, the invitation, is to remember the breath. That is the thing that harnesses all the bodies, right, in this esoteric sense. But the breath, breathing in and breathing out, always brings us back. And I know from my own traumatic experiences throughout this journey called being human, right? That sometimes I check out, I disconnect, I check the fuck out. And I'm like, I'm not dealing with that, right? Like we call it disassociation, we call it compartmentalization, whatever the language is, it's this knowingness that we have to push this thing away so that we can do this other thing and then go back to that thing, right? And so what happens in those moments of disconnection is this forgetting of being in our bodies and feeling our feet and feeling our divinity through our humanity, right? And that is not in competition, that our humanity and our divinity are these beautiful experiences. I don't even want to call them entities, that being fully human and being fully divine, both are fully true. And so what I've found in my lived experience and in my experience as a clinician and a practitioner working at this intersection of spirituality and mental health is coming back into the breath. So I would invite everyone, if they can, to come to a comfortable seat. It doesn't matter how you sit. You don't have to sit in full lotus or half lotus, but the invitation is that the spine is long and you feel comfortable, like you feel your sits bones. And what that means really beautifully is you feel your ass. Like, can you feel your bottom? Can you feel it? Can you feel your low spine? Can you feel the middle of your diaphragm. Can you feel your shoulders? That's the invitation. And then when you do that and you feel your bottom, your sits bones, feel the length of your spine. And then as you draw the breath in through your nostrils, with the awareness of bringing the breath to the belly button, and as you exhale, you draw the belly button all the way to the spine. You feel your belly rise and fall. And you just feel that. And you trust that. And you come back to your body. And as you come back to your body, you feel again the rise and fall of the belly, the in and out motion of your belly button expanding, and then it pressing to your spine. So just connect with that for about 2 to 3 breaths. Inhale, belly rises. Exhale, belly button comes to spine. And then reach your arm up. It doesn't matter, left or right. And then arc, opening up the body, the lateral side of the body. So I'm opening up the lateral left. And then we have lateral right. I think I switched that. COVID brain, can't get it right. And then you twist, looking over that shoulder. So the invitation here is to just move the spine in the 6 directions. Can't get it wrong. Then inhale, lifting up. Exhale, folding forward, rounding and doming the back of the spine. And then coming back to neutral. And we'll move the spine in 6 directions again. So inhale, sweep the right arm up. Deep breath in, exhale, arc. So that's direction 1. Inhale, come back. Sweep the left arm up, exhale, arc. That's 2. Inhale, back center. We're going to switch it up this time. Inhale, sweep the arms up, opening up the middle of the chest. Exhale, rounding out or doming the upper back, folding forward. Inhale, twisting left. Come back, exhale, twisting right. And when you come back to center, that could be where you land. And if you want to play a little bit more, you can rock the spine frontwards and backwards. Why does this matter? We sit like this and we don't trust that we have time to take a break. I have to get this done. Oh my gosh, it's alive. Oh no, it's another meeting. Oh no, another time zone. And we keep shrinking and curling and shrinking. But then when we create length in the spine and we feel our bottom, sits bones, whatever you want to call it, feel the length of the spine and invite this movement of moving the spine in 6 directions. We invite possibility. We invite trust. And we invite new energy. So I hope that is medicine to all of you. The invitation is that every day when you wake up in the morning, you sweep your feet, your sits bones, you ground into that in whatever way that looks, and you invite your spine to move in those 6 directions. And I promise you, if you practice that for 10 days, 2 days, 3 days, 40 days, you will feel a miraculous difference in yourself, because you will feel yourself, uppercase self, lowercase self, in your body. And from that center, you can move. Because when we move from that center, that groundedness, we remember that our intuition is never wrong. And that is what we need to trust. We need to trust ourselves, and we need to trust ourselves in our own beautiful bodies. So let's just take a deep breath in together, bringing our hands together in prayer. Deep breath in. Exhale, Sat Nam. Sat Nam. I am that. I am that. I am that. I love you all. Thank you so much.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Syntyché. Thank you so very much. there is something that you said in there that was important for me, and that was the invitation. There isn't, when we are trusting our bodies, trusting ourselves, capital S, lowercase s, there isn't a forceful must that it sounds like we're doing, because I feel like we do that. I have to trust this thing, or I shoulds and oughts. But you're talking about an opening with this invitation.
100%. And the physical body, you'll feel it, right? Like if you sit with, should I take the promotion, and you feel your body smile, even if cognitively you can't process that shit, your primitive hardwired body has energetically expressed that shit. So fucking do it, right? But if you think about, should I marry him again? And your body's like, bitch, nah. Like, do you know what I mean? And we're like, send me a sign, my lord. And it's like, yo, bitch, you can't breathe. Like, what more do you need? Do you know what I'm saying? Aaron, you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. And that's
100%. So it's like, just take a fucking moment, slow down, because trusting gives us the invitation of time, right? The sense of urgency is about distrust even, right? So slowing down is like, I trust divine timing. And you feel like, can you take a deep breath when you think of that shit? If you can, that's probably a good idea. If you start coughing, motherfucker, probably not. Just saying. Namaste.
Namaste.
I would really enjoy having you part of an improv scene with us. And if Aaron and I could improvise a scene while you move and just take us through that flow, I would love to see how that affects our improv.
Okay, yeah. Can I ask? I have one ask.
Yes.
Can we take a full inhale and exhale together? Because all three of us are all over the world. And I feel like energetically there's an invitation, and improvically, making up shit, there's an invitation. Listen, with three masters, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. It's great. So if we could just take a deep breath together, Shannon or Aaron, I'll let you lead that, just so that we can connect with each other's energy, and then let's do it.
Yeah. On the count of 3, let's take a deep breath in together. 1, 2, 3. We inhale and exhale. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. Okay, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna have another improvised scene. And Syntyché is going to move through, so as for inspiration for us, and we'll see. We're improvising here. This is what we do.
100%. I've gone to the bathroom, so I'm good for at least 4.5 minutes. We're fine.
Okay.
Perfect. We will start our scene when you start your movement. How about that? That'll give us our cue. Jack, this has been the best day.
I hope I had a part of that.
Yeah.
What?
Being with you has made me actually feel more like me.
I think that's good. We're on target for that, right?
Yeah.
Or no?
Well, I thought I knew who I was, and then I met you, and it changed. So maybe I actually don't know who I am.
I think so. This is just like we were talking about earlier about leaving school and not knowing what to do and how to choose your majors and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's what life is like, Jolene. It's just you don't know who you are. And then you discover that you don't know more about yourself. And it keeps going and going and going. I didn't know how really weird you were. Like, I'm in a great and pleasant and really insightful way. Like, this whole conversation, all I've been doing is just watching people as we go down the street and we're talking, just the way their faces just pivot towards you. Like, they just pick up on key words and little things you're saying. And it's like I'm watching sunflowers turn towards the sun. And it's gorgeous.
Jack, I don't want that attention though. I feel like that attention is coming from somewhere that I'm not projecting. I want to be the person who knows sturdy in who and what they are. And then when people look at me, they see a reflection of that, a reflection of sturdiness, groundedness, knowledge.
I mean, maybe you're a sapling, Jolene. Maybe you are building that, right? Everything's turning towards you. You get this attention, and maybe that's feeding you to get that strength, that core flexibility and ability that you have, right? You're not done. You're not done, Jolene.
I love that. I've never heard of anyone call anybody else a sapling. When I hear you talk, sometimes it makes me feel like maybe I can do anything. Like maybe there's not just one path. That's what I'm hearing. Not just one, but like a ton of paths, like just infinite number of paths. Just like a sapling has an infinite number of what are those called?
Roots.
Roots. Yes.
Well, I don't want to turn your whole world upside down, Jolene, but I think this is a match. I think you should come work for us. I think this is going to be it. You're going to change our whole company. You might change the whole country, girl.
Okay. I'm yes is my answer. How about that? But only if we are working side by side. This is the only way that it feels, I don't know, right. I can almost taste the correctness, the growth, the centeredness of this company.
Yeah, that's the syrup, baby. Let's do it. We're gonna make this work. Yes.
Excellent.
Yes. Syntyché.
Yes.
Yeah, that was amazing. I could see, Shannon, when you were picking up movements and gestures from her movements, and it was like getting like a little shot of like caffeine or adrenaline every time. It was nice to follow suit with that. It was good. Very good.
Oh my God. Felt like a kriya, like a call to action.
Hey,
I'm trying not to cry. And it felt like you and Shannon were like arrows through my heart. Just go, like the invitation was just pull it back and let it soar. It was really, really powerful. So thank you so much to both of you for your magic.
Well, I want to bring in the rest of our magic that we've had this whole show. I want Syntyché, stay with us. Let's bring in Luke. Let's bring in Emily. We've covered so much. We just did my first ever yoga-inspired improv scene. So, Luke, Emily,
So good. This is what improv does.
What's going on with you?
It's perfect. Like thoughts from Emily and Luke as far as what you saw with that particular segment.
It was great. To quote a smart human, that's the syrup, baby. I enjoyed that immensely.
This is great. That's the syrup, baby. I love it. I love it.
Oh, okay.
So as we are winding down, Syntyché, tell us just a little bit if you were about your experience with us today, but if you were going to leave our viewers with something, what would it be?
Your intuition is never wrong. I've never been in space with another human from anywhere that has been able to articulate that their intuition was ever wrong. And I think for me, for us as humanity, we need to trust that our gut, that guttural, that soul nerve, that vagus nerve, that shit that just brings us peace is the path to follow. And it's medicine, and we're all magic, and we need to follow that shit because it's going to make the world better.
Yes. If you are looking to make the world better with Syntyché, you know where to find her at the bottom of this screen. It's awesome. Thank you very much for incorporating your work with my work, with our work. It means so much to have people who are the masters of what they do really dig deep and share improv, but definitely cross collaborate, right, with what it is that you're doing. So thank you for doing your work, Syntyché. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much. Honored to be in shared space with all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And then Luke and Emily, this is great. You both are so wonderful. What an honor it is to have you on this show and talk from like a very knowledgeable place. If you were thinking about things that you want to make sure that people know before you leave, especially about trust, about improv, about whatever it is, tell us what do the people need to know?
I think so. I think listening to Syntyché talk about like I want her in my pocket and to be like a motivational speaker. And I feel like I can't be alone in people being like, I wish I had that kind of outlet. Well, like good news, humans, because one of the things we talked about earlier is how we need to practice building that trust. And I think every single person here said at least once. That we need to practice those things. And throughout the course of tonight, we saw a few different ways that we can practice gaining trust in ourselves and in others through yoga, through therapy, etc. So you don't have to be an improviser to find ways to gain trust in yourself. I thought that was beautiful.
Yeah. Luke?
I gotta go back. The universe is not an asshole. Like that was I really love what Syntyché had to say. Wonderful. But yeah, like building trust with yourself and with others takes time and patience. And so just allow that time and patience to happen. And it'll shine through. So.
Excellent. Thank you very much, both of you, for being here, for being part of the program. We get a lot out of the both of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you later. Yes. You know where to find Luke. There it is.
Yes.
You know where to find him. And you know where to find Emily. Yes. Thank you, Emily. Everybody look up Emily. It's wonderful. You're great. Aaron.
Shannon.
We did a whole show on trust.
Yeah. I gotta be real honest. This has been a journey for me. I came to the show not knowing how it was going to go. Now at the end of the show, I'm very glad I did it. It worked really well. It felt really good.
I loved it. We moved. I loved we sank into ourselves. We were trusting with each other. I have a lot. Luke said something, and it was trusting ourselves, trusting others. I'm going to remember it, but he said something right at the end there. And I was like, yes, just like Aaron's children.
I had the same hit, because my last thought I had before Luke signed off was, you never know if they can eat the grape until you let them try to eat the grape. You know, and you just got to take that leap. So,
yeah,
I'm gonna go out on that
life.
one, Shannon. Hey, what's are we picking a theme for next week? Or are we gonna let that? We'll figure that out.
Yes, we are picking a theme. We have to pick a theme. So if you are in the chat, in the comments, we do these shows based on your suggestions. That it is an improv show after all, or show about improv, using improv, doing improv. And the theme of trust came up at our last show from you. So I would love to hear what themes you're interested in. We've done trust, we've done
bravery or courage.
Bravery, yes. What is it that you would like to see? Put it in the chat and we will make it happen. If you don't put it in the chat now, you can always go to shannonstott.com and put it, email me there, or put it in the chat on Facebook. There's lots of options, but we want to hear from you. That's how we base our show. That's how we do this show. So thank you for being here. Aaron, you said you never know if they can eat the grape until you feed them the grape.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, see you later, Aaron Signs. Thank you for being here. You're amazing to work with.
Thanks for having me.
And that is our show. My name is Shannon Stott. I am the founder, the creator, the director of Improv on and off the stage. I help people connect with themselves and others using improv. And that is what we have done today. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Improv on and off the show. Bye.